Mixed martial arts is one of the most difficult and challenging sports to do. Many try it only to give up frustrated, realizing it's a lot harder than it looks. But here at American Top Team in Coconut Creek, Florida, home to many of MMA's top competitors, a small group of students arrive for what looks like a regular class. And it is. Except these students, well, they're a little different than the guys and gals who usually train here, since they can't see. That's right, this is a class for the visually impaired. The motivation for the class itself comes from a man who many consider part of the royal family of the sport, Master Ricardo Liborio. Liborio himself was a student of Grandmaster Carlson Gracie, studying Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu in Brazil and the first BJJ heavyweight world champion.
Well, he's trained hundreds of students that have since gone on to have successful careers as pro athletes. There's one class that is near and dear to the heart of Master Liborio.
And that is definitely due to the little girl that holds his heart.
When my daughter was 1.5 years old, she had she was genetic disorder that we call craniosynosis. You know, the sutures of the skull closed before the time. And for a long time, we didn't find out exactly what it was. We were going doctor to doctor, nobody knew what it was. The brain, it was in a lot of pressure. And it pressured the optic nerve, and she ended up blind. Tough phase in our lives, but it definitely is something that we look back and we're happy to have her.
The idea of teaching MMA to visually impaired students came quite by accident while Riccardo was searching for help for his blind daughter.
The Lighthouse of Brother was amazing. They helped us a lot. You know, we learned so much about being a parent of a visually impaired, how to deal with the visually impaired. All the educational process is completely different. Everything started, actually, with one of the teachers. She used to be a teacher at the Lighthouse, but also, so she started teaching Braille for Bella when she was like around 2.5 years old, 3 years old. And she had a boy named George Stern. So this kid's 17 years old, and he's brilliant, very intelligent kid. So Susan is the name of the teacher. So Susan said, you know, I gotta introduce you to George. Maybe George take interest in him and started doing grappling and jiu-jitsu. And I say, yeah, of course, we sponsor anybody here that will be the visually impaired, which is for me also very important. So we gotta give back, and we gotta in a certain way get the return also to learn from all of them, yeah? So George came, and it was amazing for George. This was a life-changing experience for George.
Today, teaching MMA to the visually impaired has grown to be part of the regular classes here at American Top Team, where each year they do a summer camp, bringing in up to 30 children for 6 to 8 weeks of extensive training. The class is taught by MMA fighter and instructor Ryan Thomas.
A typical day here at American Top Team when we teach the children who are visually impaired is we take them over and we line the kids up. And we'll start with some kickboxing. They like to punch and kick the bag. And then we'll take them over to the cage. And then we'll do some jiu-jitsu or some judo, some wrestling. And then they'll practice the moves and we'll bow again. And then we line up and we go home.
The children range from 6 to 12 years old. Some of the kids were born blind. Others, unfortunately, may have lost their sight later on. But even though they can't see exactly what is going on, that doesn't seem to stop these kids.
So when they come here, they really want to be here. They're really attentive and they just enjoy the training, and you have their full focus, and it makes a big difference. They really get the move.
The program, while only 3 years old, has already turned out some veterans of the sport. Listen in to what 7-year-old Joel Betram tells me when he describes his MMA training.
There's this takedown I really like. Like you get up to the person and you bend down and you like use your head and pull them sideways and you take them down. It's fun.
Besides the opportunity to get fit and learn a new skill, these children also gain self-confidence, discipline, and a sense of real independence.
And when I grow up, I want to be a warrior. As in, sometimes the fun part is when you climb up you get to climb up the cage and jump down and slam the person down.
How has creating and being involved in the Camp for Visually Impaired Children impacted you personally?
Tremendously. You know, that's definitely my way to give back, not just to the Lighthouse, but to the visually impaired community. But also, I gave them a lot, because not just they show me, but just to have visually impaired around, it is a great way to learn. You know, it's a great way to learn how we'll be with my daughter, and how take shortcuts in many things. So it's just about giving back and give away. That's one of my laws in life, you know. It's very important to me. It's very rewarding.
It all comes down to one simple thing. One teacher, inspiring others to do what many would say is the impossible.
So this kind of, you know, misconception from us that it will never work well because they are blind, because we are so used to the vision, is so wrong, you know. And I'm so breaking, which is in a great way for me as a parent of the visually impaired. I see these barriers break it all the time.
Because some people, they're not visually impaired, but that doesn't mean that we can't, because a lot of people do the impossible.
This is Susan Cingari reporting.